Shwmae, a chroeso I gyflwyniad yr adran Gymraeg yn Ysgol Gyfunfadur ar lefel A Cymraeg Ail Iaith. Welcome to the Welsh Department of Radical Comprehensive's presentation on Welsh Second Language A-Level. I'm going to start off by talking to you about the AS level course. There are 3 units involved in this. Unit 1 is an oral examination, Unit 2 is coursework, and then Unit 3 is a 2-hour writing examination. The oral exam in Year 12 is worth 15% of your overall grade. There are 2 sections. Section A is a group section, so you will talk as a group, and then Section B is an individual conversation. There will be an external examiner that comes in to conduct this part of the course. So you go in first of all with your group, and then you'll be called in individually then to conduct your individual conversation with the examiner. Section A, you get to talk about a fantastic film called Patagonia. We will study the film in detail. It's got lots of contemporary themes in there, and the types of things that you'll have to know about the film is different characters, the relationship between the characters, different themes, and we'll also talk about techniques used by the director and that sort of thing in order to create a good film. Then, Section B, for the individual conversation, is where you will go in and you'll discuss your individual project, which is basically your coursework, with the examiner, which leads me quite nicely on to the next section, which is the coursework. So the coursework is worth 10%. People really enjoy this element of the course because you can decide to do the coursework on whatever you want. You need to do 3 extended pieces of writing, and these can be done as partly homework, but some have to be done in class as well. Elements will need to be done in the class. You can choose whatever you want. If you've got a particular interest, such as we've had people in the past do things on Cardiff City Football Club, then you can choose to do that. If you've got a particular interest in Welsh art, then you can choose a Welsh artist and do the coursework on them, or different artists. If you're very interested in politics, you could do it on an element of Welsh politics. The only thing that the WGC asks for is that there's a Welsh element somewhere to the coursework, so it's got to be Welsh related. And finally, there is an examination in the summer term with 2 sections. Section A is grammar. You will have found that you'll have covered a lot of the grammar already in year 7 to 11. But this is an opportunity to really sit down and have a good look and a good grasp on the grammar. And then Section B is poetry. Please don't be put off by this element of the course. As soon as people see the word poetry, they start to worry and think, oh, that's going to be too difficult. You already do poems as part of the GCSE course. In the Unit 4 paper, we have to respond to a short Welsh poem. It's the same type of thing, but a little bit more difficult for the AS level course, where you will have to study 5 poems, and one of the poems will appear on the actual paper. Again, they are on contemporary themes, things like young people's problems, Wales, lots of things that you kind of have already studied in year 10, and so there's a nice sort of follow on from the course that you do for your GCSE. For A-level then, the remaining 3 units is an oral examination, and there are 2 2-hour writing examinations. The oral exam in year 13 is in a group, and there are 3 sections. Section A is your opportunity to discuss with the examiner your use of Welsh outside of the classroom. As part of this course, we'll get to go and see dramas. We're in a very fortunate position that there are lots of Welsh dramas by now where they're either bilingual, or you'll get some translation equipment to be able to understand elements that are going on within the theatre. We will listen to radio, which we'll do in class, but also outside of the classroom as well. You'll get an opportunity to watch TV programmes in Welsh. different films, magazines, and then you'll discuss different things you've looked at and studied and your opinions on the different things that you've had the opportunity to watch or read. Section B, we study a fantastic short play called Crash. Again, this is very much about young people's problems, and it discusses lots of contemporary themes again. Things that you will have to do is talk about themes, talk about relationship with characters, the way that it's written to create certain atmospheres within the drama as well. And then section 3 is a theme of your choice. Throughout the 2 years, you get an opportunity to look at different themes such as love, relationships, the Welsh language. You get to choose any of those and then discuss all the things that you've learned and all the things that you've studied in year 12 and 13 with the examiner. The first exam is the Welsh language and translanguaging. It's a 2-hour exam in May or June of year 13. You will have an essay question about the Welsh language. It'll be a contemporary question about the 20th century to the present day. We will have to study lots of historical events to do with the Welsh language from the 20th century until now, and then an opportunity to discuss these will come up in the paper in an essay question. Translanguaging is where you read an article in English and then you write a response in the Welsh language to show that you're able to respond in your second language, something that you've read in your first. We'll do lots and lots of practice of that. Finally, the written examination, section A, is grammar. So there'll be things like translating, changing verbs from the first to the third person, things that you're already doing in year 11, but we sit down and look at them in depth in year 12 and 13. And then the short story. We study 4 short stories altogether. Again, it's the same type of things, themes, characters, the way it's written, and out of the 4, one of them will appear on the paper and you'll have to answer questions on it. On the last slide, there are lots of reasons why you might decide that you want to go and study Welsh at A level. One of the things is we live in Wales. The Welsh government at the moment has got a target to have 1 million Welsh speakers by 2050. Why not become one of those? And it will inevitably lead to you to get lots of different jobs within Wales. Every single sector within Wales is looking for people who have got the Welsh language as a skill, and it's going to become more and more demand as years go on, especially as we come up to the 2050 milestone. I'm really glad that you're here and that you are obviously interested in the course, which is a great step. If you want to know any more, please do not hesitate to contact me. My email address is morgan.n119@hopecymru.net. If you're in school, please come and speak to me about it. I can show you more and go through the course with you. But also, if you want to go onto the WJC website, there's a possibility of looking at the qualification on there as well. Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi.